Hi everyone. The title of our project is Credit Card Fraud Detection via Cluster-Based Scoring and Anomaly Detection. Starting with a brief system overview, step 1 is to perform data preprocessing and performing min-max normalization of the dataset. Next, we perform iterative clustering and iterative learning through k-means, isolation forest, and local outlier factor algorithms to generate consistency scores using cosine similarity. Finally, we perform qualitative and quantitative analysis of our models by plotting ROC, precision recall curves, and clustering scatter plots. Moving on to the business value. Fraud detection has a $9 billion market potential as it is a huge challenge faced by commercial banking, retail, and financial firms. There is an exponentially increasing demand for a robust and accurate fraud detection algorithm which can catch the scarcely available outlier patterns. Therefore, we devised an approach which is not only highly scalable to increasing volumes of data, but has a potential across diverse use cases such as healthcare, intrusion detection, anomaly detection in aircraft designs, etc. For our dataset, to train our models, we leverage a dataset readily available at Kaggle, which consists of transactions made by credit cards in September 2013 by European cardholders. The velocity of the dataset is in real time, which is spread across 2 days, and it consists of 492 frauds out of 284,000 transactions. The volume of the dataset was around 158 million bytes of transactional data, which was spread over 2 days. Feature engineering. Initially, we performed feature engineering to generate several statistical measures like correlation heat maps, percentage variance, etc. to better understand the feature dimensions. Next, we implemented the k-means based anomaly detection where we ran k-means for 10 multiple runs. In each run, we generated a bootstrap sample of data which was normalized through min-max normalization technique. We started by generating k-centroids per data point for different spatial representations where k belonged to a set of 0 to 20 real numbers. Then we assign each data point to C cluster centroids by using an ensemble of these k clusters. Then we compute the scalar signatures by adding respective dot products of each fingerprint represented by centroids using cosine similarity. So for a total of NC2 pairs, we determine weighted score by the formula shown in the slide. By visualizing the results, we observe that a high percentage of observations have consistency scores between 0.2 to 0.8. At higher scores, there are lesser points because of variance in spatial patterns. There also exist certain threshold values of consistency score where recall is really close to 1, but precision is very low because more outliers are getting correctly classified at the cost of increasing false positives.
Isolation forest algorithm recursively partitions and splits features to isolate every data point. It separates outliers which are present closer to the tree root from inliers which are isolated at the deeper end. The most important hyperparameters in this case are n estimators, which is equal to the number of base estimators or tree in the ensemble, which is taken as 100, and the outlier fraction or the contamination ratio, which is equal to the proportion of outliers in the dataset. So we use decision function and predict functions to generate scores and prediction labels respectively. So as can be seen from the graph, that most of the normal transactions have anomaly score in the vicinity of 0.2, and fraudulent transactions mostly have anomaly score of less than 0.15. And we are able to achieve area under ROC curve as 0.96 in this case. Next slide. Local outlier factor is an unsupervised anomaly detection algorithm which generates anomaly scores by measuring local density deviation of data point with respect to its neighbors. So it considers those points as outliers that have substantially lower density as compared to their neighbors. So we calculate LOF for a particular data point, which is equal to the ratio of sum of average of local reachability distance of X neighbors to the local reachability distance of X, where local reachability distance of X is inversely proportional to the average of reachability distance of X from its neighbors. So scores and predictions are generated using negative outlier factor object and fit predict functions of LOF class. So in this case, we are able to achieve area under ROC curve as 0.75. Next slide. So scatter plots for different combinations of features for various values of thresholds are plotted And our objective here is to minimize false negatives, which are shown in cyan. As for the financial firm, it is important to catch fraudulent transactions. This can come at the expense of increase in false positives, which is acceptable up to a certain value. So as can be seen from the plots, that as we increase the threshold from 0.1 to 0.3, we are able to decrease the false negatives and increase the number of true positives. Next slide. So these are the challenges and bottlenecks that we tackled. So first one is susceptibility to local minima or saddle point convergence, which was eliminated by performing bootstrap sampling of the dataset for 10 runs to compute standard deviation for variance quantification. The second one was high clustering sensitivity to data selection order, which we were able to solve by calculating consistency score by calculating number of data points assigned to each cluster. And the third one was choosing the optimal value of K, which was solved by K-fold cross-validation technique. Next slide.
Moving to the conclusion, we have calculated the AUPRC and AUROC for the three algorithms, that is K-means, LOF, and isolation forest, and the values of each are highlighted in bold in the table beside. We also see that K-means algorithm outperforms the state-of-the-art LOF algorithm and classifies fraudulent transactions at par with the isolation forest algorithm. Next slide. We have also calculated the mean and standard deviation of AUPRC and AUROC for these three algorithms, that is shown in the table on the right. So we can see that the values are highest for the K-means algorithm and isolation forest algorithm, thereby concluding that they have done a great job in classifying fraudulent transactions as outliers. Next slide. Finally, we have calculated the true negative and true positive for different values of threshold of the consistency score. And we see that when we move the threshold from 0.5 to 0.6, the model accurately classifies close to 30 more outliers as fraudulent. And therefore, we have selected 0.6 as the right threshold amongst the five threshold values. Next slide. So these are the references and the links to the paper that we have referred while working on the project. Next slide.
Moving on to the demo of our project, since learning process takes some time, we have already generated results in the form of Jupyter Notebook. So let's quickly go through these. So starting with an exploratory data analysis, we perform data loading and we get the description of our data set using dataframe.describe function. It generates a list of various parameters like count, mean, standard deviation, etc. for our data set. Then we also generate variance and standard deviation for each of the PCA components within the credit card fraud detection dataset. And then we also generate some feature-wise histograms for each of the features of our dataset. Finally, we also calculate the outlier fraction, which is the ratio of total number of fraudulent transactions to the ratio of to the value of total number of non-fraudulent transactions. And at the end, we also generate a correlation heat map. Moving on to the K-means proposed algorithm. First, we start with data loading and performing some pre-processing. Then we initialize some hyperparameters like the list of values of K, total number of runs, total number of K-means iterations, and number of initialization parameters for the K-means algorithm. Then we initialize various dictionaries and start the process. So first we start the loop for bootstrapping and generate some indexes of bootstrap based on the total size of the data set. Then we sample the X and Y variables. And based on these, we perform K-means algorithm for total number of K values in the given list. And we take the use of sklearn's K-means class with the hyperparameters defined above and begin the training process by using fit-predict function. And thus we generate the list of cluster centers and the cluster indexes. Once we have the indexes and the value of the cluster centers, we determine the frequencies of K. For example, for each cluster centroid, we generate a list of values of how many total data points are present in that particular centroid. And once we have that, we generate a consistency score by using cosine similarity. And once we have all these values, we generate a histogram of the generated scores. And for a total of 1,000 thresholds, we generate precision recall and ROC curves for each of these runs. And here you can see the output. So this is the score distribution histogram. This is a precision recall curve for run 1 with AUPRC value of 0.056. This is the ROC curve for run 1 with AU ROC value of 0.824. This process is repeated for 10 runs and plots are generated in each of these runs. Once we have plotted all of these curves, we generate a list of 3 thresholds, and for each of these thresholds we generate a pair of 6 principal component analysis components from a set of total 27 features, and for each pair we plot a scatter plot of true positives, true negatives, false positives, and false negatives for each color. So as you can see, this is a scatter plot of V3 versus V17 principal component for a threshold value of 0.1. And for each of these, true positives, false positives, true negatives, and true positives are plotted. This process is repeated for a total of 6 pairs. And then we perform some quantitative analysis by generating the value of AUPRC for each run and what is the total mean of AUPRC and standard deviation. Same process is repeated for AUROC and mean and standard deviation of AUERC. So you can see these are the AUPRC and AURC values for each of these runs. And then for these threshold values, we also generate a total list of true positives and true negatives. The same process is repeated for isolation forest algorithm. We start with data loading, initializing the hyperparameters, initializing the dictionaries, and performing the isolation forest algorithm using sklearn's isolation forest function. Then we fit the function to our given data and generate a list of scores and predictions. And based on that, we plot ROC curves, histograms, and precedent recall curves. So as you can see, these are the generated plots, and this process is repeated for 10 runs. And then we also perform the similar kind of quantitative analysis by generating AUPRC and AUROC values for each of the runs. And similarly, we perform the same for local outlier factor algorithm, where we leverage local outlier factor function and we fit predict it to our data set and generate similar plots. Thank you.